We're live. Hi guys. I'm Ashley Gordon from manifestwithash.com and Badass Manifestor Shop. And I'm here with my friend.
Hi friend.
I let you introduce yourself.
My name is Valerie McLaughlin. I'm a intuitive heart coach, psychic medium, Reiki master, energy artist.
And one of my best friends. Yay! So we are here tonight talking about something that's so important. Intuition and being able to decipher the difference between if you're operating out of your intuition or you're operating out of fear, and knowing the difference between your intuition and your fear. What's speaking to you? So, just to introduce myself a little bit more, I work with amazing women and help them really move through their own belief system and kind of take their beliefs apart, and we really dive into them to see what's preventing them and stopping them from doing all the things that they really want to do. And what I find is that most of the time it's being able to trust your higher self and your intuition and trust the universe. That is one of the biggest things that blocks people.
That is true.
Brief interruption.
Whoops. Phone call.
Laurel tried to call me. Laurel, I'll call you back.
That usually comes from your ego and your doubts, your fears, trusting whether that is a message from your intuition, your soul, the universe, whatever it is you call it, or whether that's just you thinking. And so that's usually where that comes from, your ego.
Yeah. And
I got thrown off by the phone call.
no, it's okay. So we'll just jump right in. I know for a long time, I always questioned, is what I'm hearing and what I'm feeling coming from fear, or am I making it up, or is it my intuition? How do I know the difference between my intuition and my ego? And Val, being, she coaches me as well as, being my best friend, but she helps me develop my spiritual gifts. And one of the biggest things that we worked on is trusting my intuition and trusting the fact that I can actually read minds. And the things that I think I know, I'm not making up. I really do know them, but it's just a matter of me trusting them. So I know that through on my journey, and she'll tell you a little bit about her journey, but it's always been a question, am I making this up? How do I know if this is something I'm making up or something that's really my intuition talking to me? Hi Janine, welcome. Thanks for joining. And if you guys catch the replay, let us know that you catch the replay. And also, let us know if you experience this as well. Are you someone that has trouble deciphering whether or not you're in your ego and your fear, or you're in your intuition? What are you gonna say?
I'm used to that. So I was gonna say, one way to kind of decide whether it's your intuition or your ego is how it's talking to you.
Okay.
So if it's something telling you, oh, you should go do this because you do this, you're going to make a lot of money, that's really coming from your ego, not your intuition. Because your intuition's going to kind of guide you. So it's going to kind of direct you where you go. It's not going to be oh, you can't do that. That is totally ego. So it's going to be giving you more of a clear picture of where to head, that's going to lead you where you need to go.
I find too that when my ego is talking to me now, it's kind of screaming
Oh, they do that.
And it's like super loud, and my fear is way louder than my intuition. My intuition is that voice that's like very soft. It's like, do this, or do that, or, you know, eat this. No, eat this. I'm like, no, I really shouldn't eat that, you know? And it's like that internal conflict. I have a question for you to share with them. Like, what has your journey been like with discovering and trusting your intuition?
So,
is it something that has been really hard for you?
Yeah, it's taking me a long time, and it has been really hard. And you know, part of it is I didn't want to develop my spiritual gifts because it started at a young age, and so there was a lot wrapped around it. So there was a lot of fear. There was a lot of me looking back now, looking at it, almost embarrassed by it, and didn't really want people to know. So when I started to really wanting to develop my gifts, then it was like, do I really trust this? Is what I'm hearing really true? And you know, it still gets me. Like, I was having a conversation with another friend the other day, and they were like, well, you know, I was trying to think if I was going to do this, that, and I just said no. I was like, whoa, where'd that come from? It was just like right out of there, and it just kind of came out of my mouth. So it still kind of takes me back sometimes, but I trust it a lot. And one of the ways that I was able to really start trusting it is really getting in touch with me, and me and what I feel and what I hear, so that I can understand the difference between my ego and my fears and my doubts and my intuition.
Yeah, that's a good point about the doubt too, because going back to talking about like when you're in that phase of like, is what I'm getting my intuition, or is what I'm getting something I'm just totally making up, you know? Like, there are times where I think I can literally read someone's mind, and then I'm like, nah, probably not. And being with Val a lot, she helps me. She's like, you're literally reading my mind right now, and she confirms for me that it is true. So, two things on that is, one, you know, when that doubt creeps up of like, okay, is this real? Is it not? That's the same thing as fear. So that's the same thing as your ego trying to take you out of something that you are finally putting your trust in. And then the second note to that is like, if you're super close with someone and you are, you know, working on your spiritual gifts, or you can make an agreement with someone to help each other develop these gifts, tell them like if they're reading your mind, or like if you are reading their mind, and let them know whether or not they're on the right track. And you can you can test it out with like ESP. I mean, there's so many cool things you can do. Sometimes I'll like text her and I'll be like, I'm thinking of a shape. Do you know what shape it is? And then I'll see the shape like in my mind, and I'll just send it out her way. And sometimes she gets it, sometimes she doesn't. And she'll do it to me
I'm
too.
not really the mind reader's group. I have other talents. That's just not really one.
It's really interesting.
It's all about developing. It's like those skills are like it's like a muscle. So you have to train. You have to develop it. You have to work with it, and keep it going. And the more you do that, the more you'll become more attuned to it, and be able to trust it also. And another good way to kind of trust whether you're hearing that voice or not is once you get the message, you can ask for clarity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So tip, let's put it into like a few tips that we can like keep track of. So tip number 1 was how to decipher whether or not it's your fear or your intuition is the tone of voice that it's coming to you in, right? Like if it's super loud, it's probably fear. If you're not yet trusting yourself, it could be super loud and be on point as well, but that's more advanced if you're feeling really confident in trusting yourself.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay. So if it's super loud, or if it's super, super soft and it's very subtle, that's how you know it's your intuition. Tip number 2 is ask
For clarity.
How do you ask for clarity?
So let's say you get a message and it says, you know, you're thinking about something you want to do, and you kind of get this message, and you're like, yeah, and you're like, is it because I really want to do it, or did I really hear the message? And then you can just ask for guidance. I lately have been working with angels, so I ask for them for help, but you can just ask, you know, this is my question. The answer I heard was yes. And then ask if that was true. Like, is the answer to this question, what is the answer to this question? And ask that question again. So it's like, should I take this job? And you got yes, and then you say, okay, I heard the answer yes. Should I take this job? You know, I just want to verify the answer, and then if it was your intuition, you'll hear yes again.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like, I have kind of an example for that too. But if anyone is resonating with this, just let us know. Like, put up some hearts, or say yes, or tell us like something that you are, a story where you trusted your intuition. I recently, and you have a story along those lines too, but I recently signed up the other day for an additional coaching program, and I'm going to get certified in NLP, hypnosis, and a couple other things I'm so excited about. And there's a few different things that I've wanted to do. Like, I almost went on this retreat to Bali, and I wanted to do this this NLP training, and I wanted to do something else, and I asked the angels, and I asked my guidance, and I said, you know, show me, like, I'll know the right thing to do when it happens. So the first thing was Bali, and I really, really wanted to go. And it was like, this meant my husband's looking at me. He did not want me to go. So it's crazy, right? So this was like a big trip, and it was all about manifesting, and it was all about like just setting your intentions, and group coaching for a week straight in Bali, which sounds totally freaking amazing. And I've wanted to do this NLP training, but I haven't looked it up yet, right? I didn't look it up yet. I just knew in my head that I wanted to do it. So for some reason, the other day, I just typed in the website, looked it up, and there was a training. It said LA training, which was like after March or something.
Yeah, it was like
in
the
March. First week of March or something, or April.
April.
And then there was one in Philly. And the one in Philly was the same exact date as the Bali trip. So I was like, oh my God, I'm supposed to do this. I just knew it in that moment. It was just a knowing.
But that's funny, because you're talking about the Bali, and only the thing in my head is going, no, no, no.
Yeah.
And all I hear is the word no, 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 over
She gets
and over
all the
again.
messages from me. She's like my personal 8-ball. I'm like, should I do this? But awesome. We're going to read these comments for sure. But another interesting thing was, so I signed up for the NLP training last night, or Val helped me sign up actually, because I was away and I didn't have my computer. But there's this business coach that I follow, and her name is Hey Jen Casey. She has an amazing podcast called Social Media to Sales. If you guys are interested, check it out. She's awesome, and I totally admire her work and just kind of girl crush on her a little bit. She's really awesome. And she was Instagram Live the other night, and I went on live with her, and she said, ask any business questions that you want to ask. So I asked some business questions, and we're face to face, so we met. Like, I've been following her, so I was like, you're kind of a celebrity, in my head, right? And hey, Amber. And so we went off live, and I'm on Instagram yesterday, and her story says that she signed up for this same NLP training. And I know she lives in New York, so I just knew that she was going to the Philly one. So I messaged her on Instagram, and I was like, are you going to the NLP training in Philly? And she was like, yep. And I was like, so am I. And it was just super synchronistic. And that's what happens when you follow your intuition. And this is what you said earlier. Mm-hmm. And I'll let you say it. Is like, it just kind of guides you.
Yeah, it guides you, and she got signs, which was actually going to be my next tip, is that you can ask for signs, or they will show you signs to kind of confirm what you know. And, especially when you're new at this, and you're not sure what's going on, and you feel like you're being guided in the right way to do something, the universe will provide you with signs, or you can actually ask. And sometimes they're subtle, so you have to be paying attention and be in tune to it. They're not usually like hit you over the head kind of signs.
Yeah, the universe is always talking to us. The universe is always guiding us. It's always giving us messages. Our higher selves are guiding us. Like, we don't really need to control anything because we're always being guided and provided for if we trust the process. So I trust that this training is where I was supposed to be that week of April, and that's why I didn't sign up for the Bali trip. And I follow this amazing business coach that I totally admire, and she's going to be at the training, so I'm supposed to meet her, and it's just crazy. And I said to Val, I was like, you need to do this training with me.
Yeah.
So tell them what happens when you don't get clarity, right away.
So I helped Ashley sign up for this course. The energy felt really good, and I was like, I think I was supposed to do this course. And so I messaged her and I said, and she was like, oh yeah. And so I wasn't quite sure whether I was just really excited for her to be able to do it and feeling her energy, if it was for me to also do the course. So I said, I'm going to get clarity and I'm going to ask the angels. So I asked the angels and I hear yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And I'm like going, okay, that's not clear. And I'm like, so like, is one of them my ego, or is it just me going back and forth? So I go to pull cards and I realized that the deck that I want to use, I don't have. And so I picked up my other deck and I pulled a card and I was like, but that's still like a yes, no. Like, I still don't have clarity. And then at that time, a friend of mine, Christina, texted me, and she's a psychic also, and I'm like, I need your help. So I don't know if I fully got clarity on the whole. I did. So the answer to the whole story was, yes, I could do it, and yes, and no, I don't have to do it. So I'm kind of.
So the answer was right the whole time.
Yeah.
It was right there the whole time.
If the energy around the reason why I want to take the workshop is the right energy, then it's a go. But if it's not for the right energy, the right reason, then I should stay the course that I'm on.
And that's an awesome point too, is like, whenever you're making a decision and you're feeling into the decision that you have to make, then you're asking your guides and your guidance to help you feel into it. What feels like the best possible outcome for you? What's your motive? What's your why behind what you want to do? And then just ask for more clarity, ask for more clarity. And you want to get into the habit of really asking the universe, your guides, your angels, like Val, like very, very nonchalantly is like, yeah, I just asked my angels, And we all have angels, and we can all ask them.
Yeah.
And if angels aren't your thing, ask your higher self, ask your higher power, ask the universe. We all have these forces working for us.
Yeah, it's funny you said that, if angels aren't your thing, because I remember in the summertime when I went to listen to this House author speak, and I'm like, well, angels aren't my thing, so maybe I should listen to it. And I'm like, no, I committed to doing this, so I'm going to do it. And man, did the universe send me somebody that really kind of like helped me and introduced me to angels. And it wasn't really the introduction to angels, it was his story and how it resonated with me, and how I kind of had a very similar path, only he embraced it a lot sooner than I did. But and then it really got me into angels, and I love working with those.
His name's Kyle Gray, by the way. No secrets. We want to give all the information. Kyle Gray is awesome, and she got me into him. He writes amazing books. He's awesome. So if you have any questions about trusting your intuition, or if you have any questions about manifestation, because it's all the same, you want to get into the conversation of talking to yourself, talking to the universe, talking out loud, asking for the things that you want, and trusting that the answer will come. Janine said, 30 years ago, I was driving with a friend and I was at a stop sign and something in my head, in my voice, said, put on your seatbelt. So I did, and 10 minutes later, I got into a very bad accident and my car flipped over. From that point on, I knew I had a gift and became more sensitive to other people's feelings and thoughts. But I always kept it to myself. Wow.
Yeah.
Situations like that, Janine, have happened to me too, where like, it's almost like that's like a premonition. Todd, you're on camera, say hi. That's like a premonition almost, where you were told before something happened, right? I guess it's all the same, before something happened. But a lot of times we use intuition to decipher like right or wrong, or if we should or shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of your, that is part of your intuition. It's part of like knowing and foresight. You might not know what's going to happen, but you know it's not. It's not something that you should discard. And it's a lot of, sometimes I have a story about intuition that like a year and a half ago I didn't follow. And I tell this story a lot because it really tells where I was at the time and kind of got moving in the right direction. So I was at a water park with my sister and my nephews, and my one nephew was like, Aunt Val, go on this water slide with me. I was like, no, I don't like tubes. And he like, come on, Aunt Val, go with me. I'm like, take one of your brothers. And he's like, no, I want you to go. And the whole time going up the steps, I'm like, all I kept hearing is, it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. We're not a good idea. We get to the top of the steps, and he's like, okay, I'm going to go down the green one. You go down the red one. I'm like, well, what's the difference? Well, the red one's faster. And I said, well, then I'll just go down the green one after you go. And he's like, no, we have to go down the same side. And I'm like, this is really a bad idea. So I didn't listen to my intuition, and I go down the water slide, and I hit my head twice and ended up with a concussion.
Wow.
And it was a big deal because I had a history of migraines and stuff, so it lasted so long. And I was like, I should have listened. I should have listened to my intuition. I should have listened.
Should have listened. And I feel like that's very common. Like, I'm sure you have a very similar experience where you're like, I should have listened to my intuition. And it becomes a very intentional practice at first, where you really have to tune into it. And once you do, like Val said, it's a muscle, it starts to build. And it starts to become just part of you, and it starts to become supernatural. Amber said she needs to book a session with you, Val. She just got clarity. Awesome.
We can do that.
Yeah. Well, if you have any questions, like bring them on about manifesting or about intuition. If you have a story and you want to come on live, you can share with us. That's fun. But tell them about what you are launching.
Yeah.
You've launched.
I was actually just about to do that. So I am doing this 8-week workshop. It's called Raise Your Vibration and Open Your Intuition. And what it is, the more you raise your vibration, so everything is energy. So when your energy, here's an example. So if you walk into a room and all of a sudden you feel like happy and joyful, that's the energy in the room. Like everybody is like really, the vibe is really high and everybody's really happy. And then you might walk into a room and be like, whoa, what's going on? Like, this doesn't feel good. Everything kind of feels heavy. And that's the energy. And that's like, when it feels heavy, it's more of a lower vibration. So we here on the earth, our vibrations are lower than our angels, our higher self, the gods, the masters, everything that's outside this realm, spirits that have passed, their energy is at a higher level. And as we raise our energy to a higher level, we are able to communicate with them and trust our intuition more. And so in raising your vibration, that's why I want to help people raise their vibration. It'll help them get more in tune with their intuition and open up their spiritual gifts. because we all have them. Everybody has the ability to do these things. It's whether we want to open up to them and we want to work on develop them, and really get in tune with them. And it can help you. You don't have to become a psychic. You don't have to go and do readings, but it can help you in your field and what you do to know what you're going to do is right. I mean, really, how do you think like some of these scientists come up with these things? Do you like, it's because they know, like they figure that they are that connected to be able to figure things out. It helps people in so many different fields. So I'm doing an 8-week course starting the 27th. It's going to be 2 hours for 8 weeks, and it's going to be part coaching because to help you raise your vibration, and then also spiritual developing to open your intuition.
Yeah, and it's for people who are, it will go digital eventually, but right now it's going to be for people that are local to New Jersey and that can make it to Northfield every 2 weeks. Right? Every 2 weeks? Or every week?
Every week.
Every week.
For 8 weeks.
So we'll drop the link later just so you can look at more information. Amber said so interesting. It is so interesting. It is. Every day, like, she helps me learn more about, you know, my intuition and trusting it and raising my vibration. And if you do any sort of, I know some of you on here, hey Rosie, hey Jen, are in the group coaching program. And just so you know, like, every time you say your affirmations, every time you get clear on what you're grateful for, every time you're having a good thought, you are raising your vibration.
Absolutely.
Every time you're drinking water, you're raising your vibration. Every time you're eating greens, you're raising your vibration. There's so many things that you can do to level up your energy. And trust your energy. Trust, we are energy, right? Like we said, and everything that comes at us is energy. So we're just energy interpreters. And that's really, I don't really even know where I was going with that, but your intuition is always right. It's scary.
Yeah.
Especially a mother's.
So you think about it, your intuition is
scary in a good way.
Is your soul. So when you came here, you had this contract with your soul to do certain things. So your soul is always going to guide you the right way. It is but we have free will, so we have the right to choose and do whatever we want. And then we let our ego and stuff get in the way, and we don't necessarily listen to our intuition. But our intuition is really our truest self, our soul, guiding us through life.
And we have it, like most people have it ass backwards, because we think we need to control everything, and we need to manipulate, and we need to like just be in fear all the time. And when we can control our energy, when we can control our own vibration, that's when we have real control, because it's not out there.
Yeah.
Amber said rose has the highest vibration.
Rose oil.
Yeah, rose oil. Yeah, I need to get me some rose oil.
That's not surprising.
I have roses right now. I'm looking at them.
It's not surprising at all.
Yeah, so if you're interested in the course, we'll drop the link. And also I wanted to share that badassmanifestorshop.com has 15% off until tomorrow. So if you're interested, we have some new stuff in the shop. Check us out. I've never offered 15% off before, so I'm excited to be able to give that to you guys. And we'll do a card pool.
Yep.
Because she whipped them out.
Yeah, I only have a few decks sitting right here. So this is the Keeper to Light. This is by Kyle Gray, and there we get a better shot there. I love this deck. It's one of my favorite. Has become like my go-to deck right now. But I use many different decks sometimes, so sometimes in a reading I'll pull out like 4 or 5 different decks. What did you say? Oh, I thought something else popped up. That is so small. Like now I know why when you and Brenda were doing the lives, why your face were like going right up there. So I'm like I can't even read it from back here. I barely see somebody wrote something.
So this is for you. You.
This one? Okay. Wow. It's a white card, and with the lights, I was having a hard time seeing what it said. It's light activating, right?
Oh my god, I thought that was an orb. It's a thumbs up. I'm like, there's orbs. So this card, I wish you could see it.
I know.
We'll post it after, but it's light activation. It says, shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. What?
Yeah. It was very clear what card I had to
crazy.
pull. I was going to pull this one, and they were like, nope, and so I had to pull that one. So that's a good one.
Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. So for those of you who tuned in, and if you watch this live or you watch the replay, this is for you to trust even more that your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear.
And I'm just going to pull one more, just because
unicorn cards.
Because they're unicorns, and unicorns are magical, and the light reflection. These are awesome, awesome cards. They're
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful
I have
cards.
another deck here. We're not getting into her because she's
Bossy.
She's a little too much, but it's Kuan Yin. I love them. They're actually by the same publishing company, and I really enjoy their cards also. But these were for Ashley's magical unicorn birthday.
So we use cards because I'm glad you hopped on, Jen. We use cards to get clarity, even more clarity of your intuition, of your guidance, right? Like this just shows like how in alignment all of this is right now, right?
Yeah. So they're a good way to kind of see what guidance you need for the day. They're also a good way to verify something you already know. So that card's just kind of verifying what we are already talking about. And this one is past lives. Release your past life karma. You are an old soul with deep wisdom. Healing your past lives will raise your vibration. I am not making that up. We'll post this card too.
Wow.
Healing your past and healing yourself helps raise your vibration.
That is something.
Yes. And I believe in the power that we have to heal ourselves. Not just emotionally and from the past, but also physically. But that's a whole nother Facebook Live.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and we are excited. We'll probably do this more often, talk about developing your intuition more. And if you want, Val does Facebook Lives a lot, and follow her at Bay Energy Art, Bay Energy Design.
We'll put it in there. It's Bay Design Energy Art.
Like her page, and you'll be informed every time she goes live. And she's got some good stuff too.
Yeah, I'm on a 7-day a week. Every day I've been going live. I didn't technically go live yesterday, but I did pretty much do a live story almost. So
good stuff. All right, have a great night. And if you guys watch the replay and you have questions, post your questions, and we'll surely answer them for you. On intuition or intuition stories, on manifestation, it's all the same. It's all the same thing.
yes, it is.
Love y'all. Thank you.